is a presentation of Real Wise Productions and Comey Media Incorporated. Michael B. Jordan shows a little light in a breakup and police brutality. Do we really have to go through this again? Next on Mentality. Welcome to Mentality, the place where iron sharpens iron in the areas of mental health, in wealth, in entrepreneurship, in love, in brotherhood and togetherness. I am one of your co-hosts, Cole Johnson, as joined as always by the other co-host of Mentality, one Mr. Wize El Jefe. My brother, how you doing, man?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Well, on tap, you already heard, we're going to talk a little bit about Michael B. Jordan's performance on Saturday Night Live. We're, of course, going to delve into the Tyre Nichols situation out in Memphis. But we're going to begin with the rundown. Now, of course, in the rundown, we're going to run down a few things that involve men and the things that we have to deal with in life. And so in the very first one, we're going to talk about the art of manning up. Now, I saw this article on springhealth.com, and of course, it talks about how manning up is not really a good thing that you should do, that it really doesn't work, and that we should support mental health differently, man to man. Now, article goes on and says that basically the definition of success with men sometimes includes manning up or toughing it out. But instead of viewing anxiety or stress or depression as part of the human experience, the emotions are viewed as interfering, and some men may experience shame for feeling them. Now, I bring this to the floor because both you and I believe that manning up can be a very poisonous, if not cancerous, thing for men to be. So, whenever you hear the term manning up, what automatically do you think?
Boys don't cry.
I love how you said that. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't get it. All right, so we have to man up, but it's then they wonder why men go off the deep end a lot of the times, like they just snap or whatever it is, because they've held this manning up inside of them for years.
Right. Yeah. And it's funny you say that because 30% of men experience depression because of that. And, many of us have felt angry or on edge. And it is so toxic to us emotionally that it actually causes physical ailments too. I mean, name some that, stop me if you have experienced any one that I'm about to list. Irritability or having trouble concentrating or you've experienced abusive behavior or even you're acting out in abusive behavior. You experience headaches or pains or aches, or you've used alcohol to numb the pain, or you've withdrawn from friends, or you slept too little or too much. Uh,
Mhm.
I've
This
done a
is
little of all of those things.
listen. We're human,
Yeah,
and to think that we'll be able to deal with everything that comes with every obstacle that comes at you and just dust it off.
yeah,
There's something wrong with you if you think that we can just do that.
yeah.
It- okay, so
Take your time, bro.
a lot of the stuff that like this is stuff my brothers and them were taught. They're like, hey, they scrape their knees, they fall, whatever, get up, you can't cry.
Right.
So they pass that on
Hmm.
because that's what they were taught.
Yeah.
And I guess for us now that we're seeing that men now is are committing suicide at an alarming rate.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what pains me about that. All of what you said is absolutely true. Uh, because we have been conditioned, both of us, almost from the time we were in the cradle, heck,
Mhm.
probably in the womb, to to basically take a stiff upper lip approach to life. And if you are to show emotion, then there's something wrong with you, or you're weak, or you're a punk, or to use far less politically correct words, you're a sissy. And nothing's further from the truth, really. But what is the truth is you have to release. You're human. That's just a part of life. We all have to take our lumps and bruises, and we all have to deal with it. And if we don't, it's going to come back and bite you heavily. And you've heard the phrase hurt people hurt people.
Yeah. It, it just continues the cycle. And
Mhm.
so now that's one of the reasons we do this show is to allow men to be able to see two men who are able to express their feelings, express how they feel, and still be men.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
dare someone
Yeah.
question my man. I really do. I'm not a violent person, but question my manhood if you want. That's on you.
And that's where we are aligned. I'm not a violent person either. But yeah, you question my manhood, you have problems. And just like I know my partner here, I'm nice with these hands too. But it's not about that. You know what I'm saying? It's
It's
not
not.
about that.
It's not.
It's not about that. But yeah, perfectly stated, man. Perfectly stated. You know, you're a man even if you show emotion. To me, and I'll say it later. There's a different level of manhood when you do, and I'll discuss this later in the show. But yeah, to think otherwise, it's immature and ridiculous. But of course, you have
It
people who
just
think toxically like that.
yeah, no. This but I think it's more for controlling purposes because they want
Yeah,
men to feel inadequate. They want us to feel like we have no value unless we're providing. And that could be the furthest from the truth. So there's certain times when a man is down and he can't, of course he doesn't feel like a man because he's going through these struggles, but he's still a man. But he's just going through a phase in his life. He's struggling right now.
hmm
There's no reason to beat down on him.
no, not at all, not at all. In fact, that's when you're supposed to encourage him and uplift that masculinity energy in within him, because that's what you're supposed to do as a human family around a man who's down. You're supposed to uplift him, because when he's uplifted, guess what his position is going to be as a man. And I know I speak. I don't normally want to speak for my partner, but I think I can in this regard, because I think the same way. If I'm uplifted, I'm reaching down, want to pull other people up with me, because it's kind of lonely up at the top.
And that's why it's funny sometimes when you hear these stories about how these people coming together and then one succeeds and the other ones have their issues and drama, and they start attacking the person because, oh, how did you let me fall? I'm like, but you can help someone but so much. Like, I get it,
Thank
I
you.
understand,
Correct.
but eventually you have to accept your actions.
Hmm.
And so there's certain listen, it's okay for you to go seek therapy if you need that help and whatever it is. But there's also sometimes there's these guys out here that don't want to be held accountable either for some of their actions. And
Yeah.
it's just so many aspects of all this,
Hmm.
and that's one of the reasons why we really want to do this show is to be
Yeah.
able to show people like we can talk about everything on here.
Hmm.
And the reason we're on here to talk is to actually reach out to men and let men know
Hmm.
you have voices out here for you.
That's right. A slightly less serious matter. So John Legend actually has come out with a skincare line. It's called Loved oh 01, and it has 6 different flavors, and you can 6 different products, and you can get it at your local CVS. Uh, you have let me see, you have the face and body wash, you have the toning mist, you have the exfoliating cleanser, you have the shave cream, you have the face and body moisturizer, and you have the face and body oil. Now, I could go on and on about the product and what John is repping when he does it and why he is selling it and why he created the product line, but that's not really where I want to go. I want to go here. So
Oh,
Charlotte Scott
first of
has,
all, if it has anything with men pampering themselves, I am all for that.
yeah, I was gonna say I'm all for it too. In fact, I'll look. I'm all man, but I have a I have a pass to go to my nearest pedicurist.
I would be there. I'm there. I'm like, yeah, yeah. How you doing? Yeah. Listen, I don't care what anyone says.
I don't know.
I enjoy a nice mani pedi. I am man enough to say that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'm man enough to say yes. I'm a man, and I go to get a
I
pedicure.
get facials. I'll take a massage. Listen, there's nothing with
Had a massage,
self
had a
care.
facial.
Yeah,
No,
there's nothing with self care. There's nothing wrong with
no,
self care, people.
no.
Men, it's okay to have clean nails. Seriously,
Yeah,
guys,
it's
it is
it's
okay for you to have clean nails,
it's
and you don't
actually
have to have all the cuticle things out either. You can get a manicure. It's
it should
okay.
it should be a goal to have clean nails. But yeah, uh, but yeah, you actually were going in a line of direction that I wanted to go because I was going to use another example of Shawn Man of God. He has a skincare regimen for his face, and before he used it, people didn't really comment on it. But then afterwards, when you actually saw how beneficial it was to his face, you saw men, some women, but most men, basically almost take their turns taking pot shots at him. But it's all in good natured fun.
But I guarantee you, a lot of those men decide they're like if they had some kind of the same issues he had with his face and whatever,
Mhm.
they'll try the regimen.
Yeah. Oh, I
I
agree.
honestly, I need to find me a regimen. If anybody out there could know anything about bags in your eyes,
Yeah.
I would love to
Mm,
know.
mm,
I would love to know.
mm,
Please help me.
mm,
Please.
mm. Ditto there. Yes. Yeah. And I have no issue with a man pampering himself, taking care of himself, getting a manicure, pedicure. No, I have no problem with that. None at all. The opposite looks horrible. And I have looked the opposite. Believe me. Mentality will be back in 2 and 2. Poppy J.
If it wasn't consensual, you gotta protect the parties. You gotta be cautious. But this is two consensual adults. There's nothing to protect.
Wize El Jefe.
Could that be? Could it be that? Could it be that he's not getting the box all the time? He's not getting that slobber knocker.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire! Poppy J and Wize El Jefe. Fridays at 10 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. This is a BS3 Network presentation.
I want to show that attainability. I want to show the accessibility of this kind of lifestyle.
From social media to having conversations with friends and family, you always have to put on face and say face.
What brings a smile to my face is the one person that totally believes in me, and that's my beautiful wife, Jody.
I just had to stop because I didn't value myself. I didn't love myself. And it's like, I have to learn to love myself.
Changing the world one conversation at a time. This is Revelations.
Welcome back to Mentality, the ultimate safe space for all men. With Wize and Cole, I'm Cole Johnson. And we now are at the portion where we're going to talk about heartbreak being aired in a very strange place. What do I mean? Well, this story that I'm about to talk about will be today's or this week's Hollywood style. Now, Michael B. Jordan, now you may have heard the name and you may know the actor all well. Well, he's promoting his movie Creed 3, who I think he actually directed the movie too. And along with it, he made an appearance on Saturday Night Live this past Saturday. And in that appearance, in the monologue that he presented, he talked about heartbreak. Yeah. The 35-year-old actor talked about an ex whom he didn't name, and going through said heartbreak and basically saying that it's a tough thing, but he tried to, I guess, show that, he had to move on with it and he's coping well with it. Now, this is, I think, the first public anything from either side in terms of him and the ex being Lori Harvey. Yes, Harvey, the daughter of Steve Harvey. Yes, of Steve Harvey's show and Family Feud fame. When Nipsey Hussle was gunned down, March, I think it was 4 years ago. And you had a couple of fools going into, literally sliding to Lauren London's DMs. And I'm like, this woman is grieving. Why would you want to do that? So my question to you is, when it comes to heartbreak and heartache, whether it's just a normal breakup or in Lauren's case, you suffer a death, and you've experienced that too. How should the guy be, in your opinion, when it comes to when you and your partner go your separate ways?
He should be how he feels. If he feels like he wants to cry. Feels he wants to go out and smash as many chicks as he wants to get that out of his system, then do that. It's up to you. No one can tell you how you can deal with any kind of pain or loss of anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you to feel it. You have control of your emotions and your feelings. So if you want to spend the weekend crying, in home watching a movie, whatever, how you want to do it. You want to go see a therapist and maybe then that might help you. However you are willing to do. Listen, I know how I dealt with it at first. It was not the right way.
Right.
But that was my choice.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I look at it now. I wouldn't have went that route. I would have,
Of course.
probably went and sought help out quicker.
Mhm.
But anyway, but yeah, you're gonna. It's no one's place to tell you how you're gonna grieve or how you take the loss, because no one knows what you're feeling.
Right.
No one knows because everybody's pain is different. Everyone deals with pain differently.
You're right about that. You're right about that. And I remember when I was going through, and then after the divorce, there was pockets where I felt good, I felt at peace, and then there was pockets where I felt as though I was lower than the earth. And it was really difficult to mask it. And I mean, really difficult, to the point where I was still dealing with it almost a year after. And I remember I was, this is when I was a security officer, and I walk into a conversation full of women talking ill about men. And I emotionally was afraid. I was, I was, I was not really in my right mind. I really did not have the filter button on me. And I actually out loud said to in the midst of these women, I said, "Look, you all talk ill that men are this way, but I guarantee you, you women are absolute trash at times too."
I know they didn't take that well.
And yeah, they did not take that well. Now, to their credit, they after I apologized to them, they forgave me. But you already know the relationship, and I had no romantic leanings with any of them. But you know the relationships that I had with I think it was 3 women. With the 3 women I said that around, it was not the same, and they did not regard me the same.
Because, but so.
And
I'm thinking about what would Poppy say right
Oh
now.
Lord.
The only one I think is responsible for every single breakup they've had is Kim K.
Yeah.
Like every single relationship she's had is her fault. It's all her fault. And she be driving these men crazy. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And you think they would learn? They would see what happened to the previous dude. Like, yo, this dude almost killed himself. Maybe I shouldn't mess with that.
Oh my gosh.
That box is dangerous.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's very, very dangerous. Oh gosh. But yeah, I mean, I think people have to understand when it comes to relationships, it doesn't matter in your own relationships what happens. And you can be free of blame in terms of, well, I know I didn't do this one deal breaking thing to break us up. But when you actually have to do a mental check on, why is it that I seem to have issues with relationships? There is a common denominator with us all. And it's the person who looks right back at you in the mirror.
Yeah.
And it's cold to say, but it's true. I mean, you have, and you said it perfectly, Wise. I mean, you have to assign blame yourself in saying, well, I had something to do with how this relationship did not see its end in the right way.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any relationship that no one had no part in.
Right.
This things people do to each other and don't realize, and one can't get over it, and
Right.
There's many reasons, but to assume that it's always the man's fault, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So yeah, to be basically pro man, as
Puffy
Jay
says
has
yes.
said, as Bobby J has said, or thanks to Brian Snow, in the manpowerment movement.
Yeah, the manpowerment movement. Yes.
Yeah. You as a man, you don't have to take blame for every single thing that goes wrong or goes faulty in your
But
relationship.
do take blame for your part.
Take blame for your part, yes.
Yes.
No question. Take blame for your part, but don't take blame for everything.
Yeah, don't take the brunt of it. No.
Yeah.
But do take blame for what you're responsible for. Acknowledge where your fault lies and forgive yourself. But yeah, and then move on.
Yeah. Because you will do yourself a world of good if you were to be that healthy and say, yeah, I own my role in this, but the whole relationship breaking up, it's not my fault. No. And it's not.
It's a two-way street, both of y'all.
Yeah. No question. And for Michael B, I'm glad he's able to be healthy enough to go in front of national TV and not clown Lori, but to have fun with the fact that, yes, I'm single again and I'm no longer in a relationship any longer. And he even said, normally when people break up, they vow to be healthier. They train. He says, well, heck, I've been training for Creed 3 the whole while. So you don't have to do that.
But it's not like she doesn't have a rep.
Oh, Lord.
I'm sorry. Like, it's not like she's not known. She's been around.
I did not want to evoke Tupac's "I Get Around" when Lori Harvey would be brought up. Listen, but yes, that's what I was thinking.
There's quite a few dudes that done smashed it already. Quite a few celebrity dudes that done hit that and have said it. So let's not act like she's all innocent and pure. She's looking like she's going the Kim K route, personally.
Oh no.
She's just laying bodies down.
Oh.
She's just laying bodies down. But I don't know this young lady. I don't know, maybe. But from what she's doing, though, it's like she's just laying them down. Like, oh, yep, Michael B. Jordan, here you go. You're down. Who's next? Oh, you? All right, yeah.
She said lay bodies down, but I don't know this lady.
Bro, have you not heard of the saying, you can't make a whole housewife? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not saying she is. But...
oh, well, but yes, I have heard the saying. God. Oh, Lord. Okay. Well, we will do a reset because I needed that laugh. When we come back, we will definitely, unfortunately, talk about a much more serious issue. But, man, I'm so glad I had this laugh. Thank you, Lori Harvey.
Yes, thank you very much. And everybody else in Hollywood thanks you as well.
Yes, I'm sure. Oh, my gosh.
Just getting started. Mentality will return. If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor.
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches.
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
That gives you some humor.
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
If you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show. BS3 Network proudly presents
I am Cole Johnson, and welcome to
Cole Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets. This is a BS3 Network presentation.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, Wize.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central.
This is Mentality, where we are, as Poppy J says, pro man. With Wize and I'm Cole Johnson. And last week in Thoughts from the Throne, my wonderful brother here talked about an issue that is actually near and dear to the both of us. And I felt as though we definitely had to break this down further. And it was in light of Tyre Nichols and his unfortunate, and I do mean unfortunate, murder. And we will definitely go further into this in Fight the Power. Now, this is a segment we're debuting where we dig really deep into matters of social justice or justice of any sort. And of course, here we are. We are now within the second month of 2023, and we're talking about police brutality yet again. Now, for those who don't know, I'll give you the slight rundown of this. So about 4 weeks ago, because this took place January 7th in Memphis, Tennessee, which is about 200 miles from where I live. It was a 29-year-old guy by the name of Tyre Nichols, black guy, nice guy, actually, from all accounts I've heard. I think all accounts many of us have heard, was basically trying to drive home. And he got stopped and pulled over by a couple of Memphis cops. He was tased. He was forcibly out. He was forced out of his car, got tased. And after he got tased, he was freed up and he ran. And he tried to run close to his house. Unfortunately, 5 other cops came by, located him, and then they decided to lay into him. I mean, baton shots, punches, kicks, to the point where he died. Now, what makes this interesting and a little different is that 5 of the cops that are listed in this particular thing were black.
Because now it's 7. It's a total of 7
Yeah,
right now.
and I was going to say, okay. 5 originally was black. Now, there have been 7 who have been let go by the Memphis Police Department. 4 of them have been charged with second-degree murder. And there are many out there who say that, well, since 5 of these cops are black, it's kind of peculiar that justice seems to come swift in the punitive part of these gentlemen being, charged and arrested. My question to you:
There's no winning. There's no winning. There's no winning. First of all, I don't care about any of them. Okay, so yeah, all right. So they lose their jobs and get charged.
Oh well.
This young man lost his life. This is something his family will never get back. So I don't care if y'all want to make it a black or white thing. That's on y'all. But these men deserve to face justice. They needed to get fired. Now, this needs to be the president, where if they got there's no leave pay, none of that, they get terminated. And it happens to black, it needs to happen to every single cop that breaks the law.
Any. No question.
So, but now people want to make it about race as far as if it was white cops, it would have just been put on death duty. I don't care.
I don't care either.
This young man lost his life. That's what I care about. So the people that took his life need to pay.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're black, brown, yellow, green, whatever.
Yeah.
They need to pay.
Yeah.
They need to be held accountable for their actions.
Yeah. It's a tragedy all around.
And Poppy's the first one to tell you. He's like, it's blue. It's blue.
Yeah.
They're not black or white. They're blue.
Yeah. And they acted blue.
And that's the mentality they have. This was this was a special police unit that they have. The Black Scorpions or something, whatever it was.
Yeah. Now, they when it comes to the people who are killed, they say their names so that we won't forget the ones who had their lives unjustly taken from them. Tyre Nichols now being added to that list. But the names I'm going to say also are Demetrius Haley, Desmond Mills Jr., Justin Smith, Emmett Martin III, and Tadarius Bean. Why am I naming those 5 gentlemen? Those are the 5 who were fired and indicted. And I'm saying their names because they, for the rest of their lives, have to answer the question, why were we complicit in murdering an innocent man? Simple as that. Simple as that.
Again, you're supposed to protect and serve.
Yeah.
Protect and serve.
Not
it's not like this young man. It's not like this young man was a hardened criminal.
Long from it.
So you would think 5 brothers would see another young man who's not, you can tell when you pull up his record that he's not a troublemaker. He's not one who gets in trouble a lot. He's not one who gives you issues. But to assert your authority, to show that you're what? That you're what? To show what? That you're a big man? That you got the power because you wear a suit and a uniform and a badge, that it gives you the right to play judge, jury, and executioner?
Yeah. Now, last week's episode, Wize said, I want to see the body cam and the footage that gets released. And it was being released when we were taping this episode. It was being released a couple of hours after we wrapped. And I watched it. I'll tell you a little bit more about how I felt about it later. But I watched it, and when my wife asked me about it, before I even began telling her, and I said this to you, before I even began telling her, I said, don't watch the body cam video. Don't watch the footage, because you don't want to know what happened to this young man. You really don't. And I didn't finish the description of what took place. She actually said to me, no, don't tell me anymore. And it's getting to the point now where when we say that these things happen, it's almost as if we almost don't want to look at that. We want to turn ourselves away from it because we want to see something good. Unfortunately, we have to see this because we have to represent the life that was taken from us.
Yeah. And then you wonder why people of color fear getting stopped. And it doesn't matter if the cop is black, white, whatever. It does. There's a fear of just getting stopped. You even see someone get behind you, you get nervous, especially when. And it shouldn't be that way. We shouldn't have to drive in fear.
No.
Thinking that we're gonna get stopped.
It's a shame and a half that we seem to have to be penalized for being, in this case, being black or brown by law enforcement. It shouldn't have to be that, but it is. And it's unfortunate. And you're right. You live in fear of, doggone it. It's like my father said, make sure I come home.
Because even in New York, when they had stop and frisk. Do you think they were stopping kids in Bensonhurst or
oh heck no.
Or Bay Ridge or any of these?
No.
But if you was in East New York or Crown Heights, Flatbush, Harlem, the Bronx, you was getting stopped.
Yeah. Man, I fell for you brothers when I heard that. I was like, man, cops doing that in New York? Nah.
Oh, it's saving lives. No, it's not.
No.
Now it's giving them more reason to harass.
Exactly.
And not everybody in the hood is slinging rocks or carrying guns.
No.
There's a lot of hardworking people in the hood.
Right.
Later, we will have Thoughts from the Throne. This is mentality, discouragement, sorrow, distance. Your arguments cause damage to your family. The hurt leads to divorce. You feel like there is nowhere else to turn. But there is hope for you. That's where we come into play. There is an overcomer that lives inside of you. One ready to take on the world as you leap for joy, living in victory. You'll grow to love yourself and others. There's life after divorce, and you can claim it today. Get Over Divorce, where your new story begins here every Thursday on YouTube and Spreaker.
Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Jordan Alvarez, and it's caught. Deebo Samuel with the catch.
Michael Jordan can sense.
The throw just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Welcome back to Mentality, where we are in part 2 of Fight the Power with Wize and Cole, and we're breaking down Tyre Nichols, the 29-year-old man, black man at that, who was unfortunately beaten to death, and that is not a figment of our imaginations or a figure of speech. He literally was beaten to death on January 7th in Memphis. Yeah. And here it is 4 weeks later, and it's still a traumatic thing. And you touched on this in the first part of this segment, the mental health effect that incidents like this can cause, because it triggers the personal stuff that you've had to deal with personally, And just as a culture, as a member of the culture, it definitely is something that medical professionals will actually say. Now, this would be part of a segment that I would debut in the future called From the Experts, but this is something deeper, so I put it still in Fight the Power, where the police looked at you in a criminal way and not in a way of you're a citizen to society. How lingering and damaging of an effect did it have on your mental and your emotional being?
You know what? It when you grow up around it you kind of like just shake it off. Like for me, and one time, me and my nephew, we our poppy, his younger brother. We were in the local pizza shop, and we went in. We ordered a pie. We was chilling, joking, and we saw this cop car go around a couple of times. And so when we get our pizza and all that, we see that they come into the pizza shop, whatever. You know, we're not thinking anything of it. We walk out. They're right behind us. They stop us. You fit the description of two Hispanic guys from that. There was a shootout yesterday, a few blocks away.
Goodness gracious.
And the funny thing is, the car that they stopped us in it had my mother in it because she was in there waiting for my sister. And I'm like, officer, can you just at least move that around the corner? That's my mom in the car. Oh, well, he did. He complied with that. But you just to me, it's something normal, I guess. It's because we're used to it. So
wow, man.
But now since I've left the city and I live up in the mountains, and there was one time up here where my back windows were tinted, but my two driver's sides, no tint on them whatsoever. I had the cop pull me over, just turn around, like he sees me driving, he comes around, makes a U-turn, comes behind me, pulls me over, and when he's walking to my car, he's already got his hand on his holster, and he's gonna give me a ticket for my tints, and I'm like, this is ridiculous because I don't have tints in the front. You can see the driver,
right?
Oh, but you can't see what passenger. Well, officer, you made me lower down all my windows. There's no one in the back. And this is the first time I've ever been stopped for these tints.
Right.
And I had my car for years and never got stopped because the front two windows were not tinted, so you could see the driver. But I'm not the kind of person anymore that's gonna just dwell on that. I'm gonna, hey, it happened, chalk it up to life, and then keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because but there aren't people like me. There's not, like I said, there's not people built like me.
Right.
There's people that every time they see a cop car behind them, they get nervous.
Yeah.
That's just natural.
Yeah.
I know I'm clean. I don't have nothing to worry about.
Right.
Pull me over. Go ahead. I'm not worried. Now, if I was someone who, if it was me in my past life, I would be worried because I was doing things that I wasn't supposed to be doing. Now, listen, if at the end of the day, you see them come up to your car, everybody has a phone that records. Your phone on the dashboard, press record, and be like, I'm recording for my own safety. That's it. But even as you can tell, even with body cam, they're gonna beat you if they want to, and it shouldn't be that way.
Or they'll find ways to circumvent it, like if they can cover it up. If not that, they will shield their way and position themselves to the point where you can't really look right directly at the person that they are considering to be a suspect.
Yeah.
We seem to have these situations happen where life goes as normal, everything is great, and then oh my god, another person, most likely it's a black guy, sometimes it's a black woman, and sometimes it's another. Sometimes it is brown, and sometimes it is red, and sometimes it is yellow, and even sometimes it's white too, but definitely non-Caucasian. You see yet another non-Caucasian male, for the most part, have to deal with death at the hands of police officers. And then we see the community that's outraged. Then we hear police reform needs to happen. We hear we have to end police brutality. And we hear this go on for about a month. And then we see it resurface again when, if you hope, the officers actually get sentenced to or get a guilty verdict on murdering somebody.
Yeah.
And then after that, you actually feel one of two ways. Either you feel happy that justice was served, or you feel enraged justice was not. And then we have to deal with that emotion, and then that story goes away, and then life proceeds as normal until the next person has to die at the hands of police.
Absolutely.
And this cyclical nature must stop. It must stop. It cannot continue to happen, because it just shows me that you got people who are in police who could give a crap about the society and the community which they serve.
Yeah. It's there has to be reform. Something has to be done.
Now, before we go, we have one more piece of business to attend to. And now, welcome to Thoughts from the Throne. Here is where we have 2 minutes each to talk about what's on our mind, what's in our hearts, and what's in our souls for the past week. It could be wisdom. It could be something that bothers us. It could be a combination of. But it is thoughts spoken from a king, and they are spoken to a king. We each have 2 minutes. Wize, my friend, the floor is yours.
All right. So my last thoughts from the throne had to actually deal with Tyre Nichols. So this week, I'm coming from a little bit more positive place. This past week, as you can tell from the last episode, I was in Orlando, Florida for Podfest, and I recorded from there. One of the biggest things I love talking about is networking. And so if anyone out there who's trying to be a successful business person, entrepreneur, whatever it is, that networking is something that you really need to focus on. You need to start building and nurturing these relationships, surrounding yourself around people that are doing what you want to do. I get it. You have friends, whatever, but you're only as successful as the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. And so I've been surrounding myself with some wonderful people, some people that I get to learn, grow, nurture. They're nurturing me into becoming the entrepreneur and businessman that I'm becoming. And it's a great feeling. So one thing I preach to everyone: network, because it was a great experience to actually get to meet so many different people and actually work on the relationships that we made last year. So if you're in any type of business for yourself, definitely go and network with as many people as possible, and find a coach, a mentor, someone to help you, because everyone needs coaching. Everyone needs help. And that is my thoughts from the throne.
Yeah, you're right. we all need that. Well, mine is definitely a little personal, and you actually said earlier in the episode self-care, so it comes from the self-care department. So of course we have basically talked half of this episode about Tyre Nichols, and I mentioned earlier that I watched the body cam footage and the footage from the from up top of I believe it was from a street light, or yeah, it was a street light. Seeing all of that, it affected my soul in a negative manner. But I know I needed to release, and I just felt this need to release. So normally when that happens, I listen to music. And so I'm a huge Barry White fan, and he had this orchestra band called Love Unlimited. And so they had this song called Love's Theme, which was created the year I was born, and it went to #1 pop. So I listened to it, and I had the feeling that I was going to have an emotional break. I had a feeling. And so I listened to the song, and I was surprised it didn't happen. And then I get to about the second half of the song, and all of a sudden the waterworks came, and I poured tears. But it wasn't necessarily just out of sadness. It actually was out of happiness, because I was finding the orchestra playing joyful, and I needed to hold on to something joyful to make me understand why life is worth living and celebrating. And after I had this therapeutic cry, I went about my business, and I felt so much better. So, gentlemen, I will say this from the bottom of my heart. If you feel the need to release, let it go. You are no less of a man. In fact, you are more of a man when you can, because you won't be hurting anybody when you do. You'll be helping somebody. And that is how you can be powerful as a man. And those are my thoughts from the throne. For Wize El Jefe, I am Cole Johnson. We thank you so much for being a part of this man empowerment movement. And as always, our secret technique is that we always speak with mentality. See you next week.
Peace.
That's 100.